Ever wonder how the United States became the world's dominant superpower? Well, the answer might not be what you think. It's a story that's less about politics or military might and more about a massive economic shift. And it all really kicks into high gear with the two world wars. So let's get into it.
I mean, for most of world history, other nations were the ones leading the pack. So what happened? How did the US manage to just skyrocket to the top so incredibly fast? It wasn't just one thing, but a pretty unique mix of geography, timing, and some really smart strategy.
Okay, take a look at this chart. It tells a really powerful story. For centuries, right, you had nations like India and China dominating the global economy. But then, right around the 1900s, boom, something changes dramatically. The USA's slice of the global GDP pie just takes off, completely redrawing the world's economic map. So how on earth did that happen?
All right, first, let's set the stage a little. Before the World Wars, the United States wasn't really a global power, but it was definitely laying the groundwork by becoming this massive continental nation.
Through a mix of purchases, annexations, and states just deciding to join, the U.S. got huge. It bought Alaska from Russia, it annexed Hawaii, and brought in territories like Texas and Florida. This massive expansion gave it a ton of land, immense natural resources, and a fast-growing population. Basically, all the key ingredients for an economic boom that was about to get supercharged by what was happening across the ocean.
And that, right there, brings us to the event that changed literally everything. While the world wars were bringing unbelievable destruction to Europe, for America, they turned out to be an unprecedented opportunity.
And this is where you can see the huge contrast. The wars were fought right in Europe's backyards, in their cities and fields, which just wrecked their industries and economies. But the United States? It had two giant oceans as a buffer. Its factories, its farms, its cities, they were all untouched, putting them in the perfect position to supply the war from a very safe distance.
So here's the crucial point. America wasn't just safe, it was profitable. The U.S. basically became the go-to arsenal for the Allied powers, selling them unbelievable amounts of weapons and supplies. So while other nations were spending themselves into oblivion, America's economy was being supercharged by all that war production. And that's really the bottom line. While the rest of the developed world was trying to pick up the pieces, America walked out of these conflicts economically stronger than it had ever been. This incredible financial advantage became the foundation for everything that came next.
All this newfound economic muscle gave America its most powerful tool, the absolutely dominant US dollar.
You can see how this happened step by step. As European economies were just crumbling during the wars, people were scrambling to find a safe place for their money. And what did they do? They bought US dollars, which looked like a beacon of stability. This flood of demand made the dollar's value soar, and it all led to a landmark decision in 1944.
And this was the moment the dollar was officially crowned king. The Bretton Woods Agreement basically made the US dollar the anchor for the entire global financial system. And why the dollar? Simple. It was pretty much the only major currency left that was still solidly backed by gold, making it the safest bet around. From then on, almost every major international transaction, from oil to coffee, would be priced in dollars.
So now, with its currency at the very heart of world finance, the United States didn't just get to participate in the post-war economy, it got to design it.
America really took the lead, building the institutions that would run this new global economy. You had the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, which was set up to keep currencies stable. Then you had GATT, the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, designed to slash trade barriers. Together, they pushed a very specific vision: open markets and globalization. You know, a system that was perfectly tailor-made to benefit the world's new largest economy.
And let's be honest, America's former allies and rivals in Europe, they weren't exactly in a position to argue. With their economies completely shattered, they had to rely heavily on American money and investment just to rebuild. This period of dependency just further cemented America's spot at the top of this new global order.
Okay, so this isn't just some dusty old history lesson. The decisions made over 75 years ago created a legacy that directly shapes our world right now.
So why should you care about any of this today? Well, because the financial system built after World War II is, for the most part, still in place. The reason the US dollar is still the world's reserve currency, affecting everything from gas prices to international loans, can be traced directly back to these moments in history.
And that leaves us with one final big thought. We've seen how America became a superpower, but this whole story raises a really important question. Should being a superpower even be the ultimate goal for a country? Or is the well-being of its own citizens a more important measure of success? It's definitely something to think about.